Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 17th of 2025, and given that the Meghan Markle fiasco is still very much active, it is still underway, not just over at Netflix, but also throughout the entire film industry, and even in the public eye, mind you. Now, we know that there's been a lot of backlash that she's been facing after Ted Sarandos caved, and allowed her to get a couple of one-off projects here and there, including a Christmas special for Netflix. However, she's not getting an actual contract renewal, as she once expected that she would actually obtain. She's not getting another $100 million contract renewal or anything close to that. These are just a handful of projects, one here and there, that she will be able to do for Netflix. And look, the more ratings disasters that come out of Meghan Markle for Netflix, I see this to be a very short-lived process, but we'll talk more about this as time goes by. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, one thing about Meghan Markle right now is that we know that she keeps getting caught doing multiple acts, and how Netflix executives and producers, they just keep digging it up. And a lot of this is coming from the fact that her workstation was indeed cleared out as executive producer from Netflix HQ. By the way, that was also another part of the negotiation between both Meghan and Ted Sarandos. And I've said this once and I'll say it again, but she does have something on Ted Sarandos. I don't know what. I'm sure that we will all never find out. But she's got something on the guy that allows him to, or forces him to cave into these specific demands by Meghan Markle. We all know that she was begging for one-off projects here and there if she did not get a contract renewal. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. But what's interesting here has a lot more to do with what's going on with Meghan Markle and how Netflix discovered something very specific. Now, with the Meghan Markle drama only getting worse over time, not just over at Netflix, and how she's facing backlash after getting some projects greenlit, but also in the general public, one major development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle's secret messages fiasco, and how the whole situation recently got worse, as we talked about around a week and a half ago. It turns out that after Meghan Markle did not receive a contract renewal, as she expected, in the specific terms, and instead was given a limited number of projects sporadically by Netflix, her office at Netflix HQ was indeed cleared out, and of course emptied out, where executives discovered even more messages at her workstation that were sent to her team. Now, this involved how Meghan Markle was explaining detailed revelations to her agent, her manager, her entire team, how she labeled Netflix as traitors and a corporation driven by sexism after deleting all of her material in season 2 that actually copied Pamela Anderson's cooking show, Pamela Anderson's Cooking with Love. Now, Meghan Markle also sent messages to her team explaining to her agent and manager that she is planning on developing a political podcast to go on multiple rants, get this, about Donald J. Trump. These proposals to her agent and manager were discussed in great depth and involves Meghan's frustrations with Trump's administration abolishing DEI in the film industry and how she believes that a podcast will be able to call it out. Now, Meghan revealed in these messages to her team that she plans to go all out on Trump and his administration for abolishing DEI, and plans to make an announcement about her political podcasts by the beginning of 2026. With Meghan Markle now getting one-off projects here and there by Netflix that won't be under an expensive contract, she was recently confronted by Netflix producers that she will lose all of her future roles at Netflix in 2026 if she does go ahead with a political podcast, and that their partnership would come to an end before 2027. These messages also included Meghan Markle trash-talking Netflix CEO Greg Peters, who is the other CEO to the side of Ted Sarandos. Where it stands right now is that there is a massive, get this, division happening within Netflix after Ted and board members that side with him gave Meghan Markle the green light to actually create some one-off projects, including that Christmas special. This is due in part to the fact that they are becoming creatively bankrupt and are having trouble finding the right creatives to develop original shows that hold high ratings. Now, let me just say one thing about that. Now, this is a very interesting thing here. The fact that Ted Sarandos is doing this also due to the fact that Meghan Markle is actually not only overly demanding and very much difficult to work with, but Ted Sarandos is finding a very difficult time finding original creators to create original TV shows, right? Something that's very much original, not just another season of a multi-season show or anything like that. He's looking for multiple major hits at Netflix. Something as original as Stranger Things or something of that like. They want to do that all over again. And they're having a very big problem doing that, right? When you look at shows like Netflix's, Stranger Things, Squid Game, they want to create that whole new era again. They want brand new, mega, original, Netflix TV shows that get these, massive, recognition, per se, on social media and mainstream media. Now, in addition to all of this, Meghan's discovered secret messages that were in the form of emails sent out by her team and discovered by the IT department included Meghan Markle planning to create her own show exposing toxic masculinity in Hollywood, ranging from the executives to those high up in the corporate ladder. Already, this is creating tons of drama for Greg Peters after Ted Sarandos decided to keep Meghan Markle to some degree. Ted Sarandos and his behavior, however, reportedly has been acting very strange over at Netflix HQ after the agreement with Markle and her team to develop certain specials for Netflix. Now look, we know that Meghan Markle is always going to be a narcissistic individual. I think that we could all agree with that. But we know one thing for sure is that we're not going to be able to really say exactly what's going on because we quite frankly do not know. But she's definitely got something on Ted Sarandos. There's no doubt about that. There's something going on there. Who knows what in the world is going on between the two, but she's got something over the guy that's creating a lot of influence for him to cave to her demands after so much pressure for the past month and a half, after she was temporarily, quote-unquote, canceled from Netflix, and then magically got an actual offer by Ted, and how he basically just agreed to everything that she was begging him for about, close to 2 months after she was axed. But again, what's interesting here yet again are the discoveries, right, by Netflix when it comes to her messages, when it comes to all of the various things that she keeps getting caught in. You would wonder to yourself, why would they stick with her at this point? Because it's not just up to Ted Sarandos, it's also up to the board of directors, right? They're the ones that also call the shots. In fact, they are the ones that call these shots. While the majority of the board, we talked about this earlier this year, for the most part, they are mostly sided with Meghan Markle. There's a little less than half of the board members that are against her. But that's exactly why you have the majority leaning toward Meghan, and why basically she gets a lot of these, demands that she puts out to actually get accepted. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this, because this is a very interesting thing. We got Meghan's, with Love Meghan Season 2 coming out on August 26th. They really did, rush the re-editing process. We talked about how reshoots just concluded about a week and a half, give or take ago, and they had to really rush this thing. They had to re-edit everything, and again, not so hard. I mean, this isn't like a movie with tons of CGI or anything. They just have to piece together scenes, audio, music here and there. A pretty simple process when you look at it from, the perspective of doing it for multiple months. But to do this in a matter of 2 weeks, that's pretty difficult. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.